You know what really grinds our gears? Everyday items that have continued to have noticeable design flaws, yet they never get fixed. You know, like the fact that many fridges are meant to store temperature-sensitive things on the door, even though that area gets the warmest air, or the unbalanced cup of noodles, which threatens to burn us all. So while we wait for someone to eventually improve these designs, we'll just sit here, hit the subscribe button, and complain about the terrible flaws in these everyday objects. Cup holders. If you're a parent or a person who spends a lot of time in the car, then you know the horrors that await you when it comes time to clean the cup holders. Most vehicles have at least a few of them, and in many cases, they are filled with crumbs and a sticky concoction of candy, coffee, or pop. You may be able to vacuum them out, but it's nearly impossible to get them looking like they did when you first owned the car. The solution? Why not make all vehicle cup holders removable so we can finally get out that mystery crust that has bugged us for so many months? Cereal box tops. There's nothing like cracking into a fresh box of cereal. Oh, what's this? The top is so flimsy or glued down so well that getting in means destroying the lid? In the end, your cereal looks like it's been assaulted by a pack of rabid cereal-loving ferrets. Yes, cereal boxes have been around for a long time, but all across the nation, there are ripped or distorted lids attesting to the frustrating design we all face. Why is it so hard? They can make televisions that are millimeters thick, but they can't make a cardboard flap that opens and closes just right? Phone SD slots. Most smartphone owners are in the same boat when it comes to adding extra storage. At first, the answer looks easy. Just buy a micro SD card and insert it for greater storage. Then you find out you have to tear apart your phone to get at the spot to add the card. Since many people either can't be bothered or really shouldn't be taking any tools to their devices, this is just a bad design. What's so hard about adding a tiny slot anywhere on the outside of the phone? Toilet stalls. Public bathrooms can be nasty or an uncomfortable affair. If you don't know what we mean, check out our video on the most bizarre public bathrooms. However, in many cases, those of you using the stall will notice a seemingly enormous gap between the door and the walls. You can see out and others can see right in while you're sitting on your porcelain throne. We get the gap at the bottom is for cleaning and safety, but why the massive gaps everywhere else? Hot dogs. The only food on this list, hot dogs are a favorite, especially during the summer months. However, anyone who has ever thrown a summer barbecue knows the frustration when it comes to the whole hot dog versus bun ratio. That is, why do hot dogs come in packs of around 10 and buns can be bought in packs of 8? You're either left with 2 extra dogs, or if you buy a second pack of buns, you end up with stale bread because you have no hot dogs to use them with. Yes, it's a first world problem, but it's one which many people think has gone on long enough. Paper towel dispensers. Many public bathrooms use some sort of air dryer to dry off your hands. However, there are still many that use the paper towel dispenser. Odds are you've used one of these and probably been left frustrated or fighting with the machine just to get your hands dry. You likely know the scenario well. Grabbing for the sheet and you can only seem to rip off tiny and totally useless chunks of paper because the tension is set too high. Or the exact opposite happens and you pull one sheet and 800 come falling out. Norman doors. Our brains are wired to understand doors a certain way. For instance, if it has a pad on it, then we know to push. Handles, not a problem. Those mean pull. That's just the way it's supposed to work. However, in too many locations we have doors dubbed Norman doors. These go against all logic and require us to push when they are clearly set to pull or vice versa. Even signage doesn't seem to help as people are left smashing into doors all over the world because of confusing designs. Keyboards. You've got a big night set up. With a bunch of extra time, you've decided to do some serious gaming on your PC. Things are looking good. You've advanced far along your quest when suddenly the screen reverts to your desktop. What happened? Oh, that's right. You hit the Windows key. You know, that key situated for some unknown reason in between the left control and Alt, 2 of the most used keys on the modern keyboard. Why, Microsoft? Why? Just put the button at the top or off to the side with the other barely used keys. Please. USB slots. USB slots are great because they're small and compatible with so many devices for today's computers. Yet computer makers can incorporate them in infuriating ways. Sure, there's the fact that they give you 1 or 2 at the front and stuff the rest at the back. That can be bad enough. But what about those laptops or PCs where the USB slots are all so crammed together that you can't actually use them all because your peripherals won't connect? It's like they think all USB connectors are super thin and share the same designs. It happens, and there is no excuse for it. Armrests. Screaming babies, interesting food, and turbulence. Flying on a plane can have its own challenges. Plane designers, despite improving almost every other aspect of flight, continue to give us seating with inadequate armrests. You know what we're talking about. For instance, 3 seats together have 4 armrests. If our math is correct, that's short by 2 armrests. We understand it's all about space, but if we can get televisions mounted in every seat, surely there is some sort of fix for this continuing design flaw. It feels good to get all of those first world problems off our chests. Anyway, now that you're still here, why don't you leave us a comment down below with your least favorite thing? And, why don't you subscribe to The Richest for more wacky content every day? Thanks.